Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Beverly. Lovely to meet you. I hope you'll stick around, leave some comments and stuff like that because I love making new friends. Today we're talking about Once Upon a Time, Season 7, Episode 1. If you haven't seen it yet, there's lots of spoilers ahead. Like, I'm literally going to take the episode and talk about my thoughts as we go along. So, yeah, spoilers. If you've not watched it, go watch it, come back, and then we can talk. I do hope that you'll leave comments. I love discussing Once Upon a Time. It's one of my favourite shows. And I know it's really polarised, the fandom. I'm big on Tumblr, and a lot of people have been saying they're not going to watch it because their favourite characters aren't in it anymore and they don't want to see the same thing again. But I think we really saw in the first episode that they're not actually just rehashing. There's a lot of throwbacks and a lot of callbacks to things that have happened in Once Upon a Time, and a lot of similarities, but I think as we go along those parallels are going to change. I hope so anyway. They're brilliant writers, so I can't see why they would mess up everything that we love about this amazing show. So I've taken a lot of notes. I'm very passionate about this show. I'm extremely excited for Officer Rogers. As anybody who knows me knows, I love Captain Hook, Killian Jones, all his different faces, and you know, I like drunk, fat, Hook from the Wishverse. I love Captain Hook the Pirate. I love the good guy. I love Killian Jones, who was following his brother into the Navy. I love everything about him. He's the best character in my view. And I didn't really become a passionate fan of Once Upon a Time until he came into it. Season 1 I watched because I love fairy tales, anything to do with fairy tales. So I started watching it because I love Snow White. You can see my little badge is a poisoned apple. I love Snow White. So I started watching because of that, and then I fell in love with the huntsman, Graham, and then he was killed off. But I love Jamie Dornan, so I'll watch him in anything at all. But then I kind of was like, I'll keep watching. And then from the very first scene of Captain Hook, I was hooked. So I think it just takes one character sometimes to really make you invested in a show, and for me it's Captain Hook. I ship him with almost anybody really. I'm a big multi-shipper, but obviously I love Captain Swan. A lot of people in the fandom felt like the last episode of season 6 should have been the end. They all got their happy endings. It was a big musical number. Everything was perfect. Leave it alone. And I think it was a good ending for a lot of people who decided not to continue watching because their favourite character's no longer in it. I know we've lost Belle, we've lost Snow and Charming, we've lost a lot of people who the fandom absolutely love. And so it makes sense that a lot of people are not going to continue watching. But I do hope they'll start coming back to the show because I loved this first episode. I really did. I didn't have high hopes. I was just going to watch because Hook is in it, and I will keep watching as long as Colin is in the show. But I definitely was surprised. I loved it. So let's just get to it, shall we? So first of all, the first scene with Regina and Henry, where Henry's like explaining he's got to go and find himself in one of the books. He isn't in this book. Who is he? He's somewhere out there. He should find his way. Him saying goodbye to Regina was really sad. It really felt like it was Jared saying goodbye to the character. It was beautifully written, and I just, you know, it was strange seeing him on a motorbike because you think of him as being a little kid. Like, even though he's like grown up on the show and he's a man now, he's still like little Henry. So when he's getting on that motorbike, I was like, he's not old enough to ride a motorbike. What is going on? Regina, what are you doing? But he is. He's grown up. But I have to admit, I like new Henry. I like adult Henry. I mean, what a think. I like him muchly. But yeah, him saying goodbye was a really sad scene. I thought, of course, Lana just brought this beautiful side of Regina. We don't see all that often, this softness to her that's really come from everything she's been through. Yeah, I just thought it was beautifully acted and written, and I just really enjoyed it. It was beautiful. I really enjoyed when we see adult Henry and he's driving the car. I think it's supposed to be like, what's that thing, Uber? We don't have it around here, where you can, it's an app and you do. But anyway, I really loved his passengers like dancing in the back seat and seeing all the different people that he gives lifts to because he can't write anymore. I love that the new curse gave him the feeling that everybody thinks that the first curse was just his book that he wrote that did well. I'm so sorry, all my clock's going to chime 12 times. There's not a lot I can do about it. I do love the sound though, don't you? Bong, bong, bong. So, I love the throwback to when Lucy comes to the door and then just rushes into the apartment and kind of takes over, like looking in and snooping and stuff. I love that that was a throwback to when Henry went to get Emma. That scene was beautifully done. I think it's because we were seeing that was like the sneak peek that we saw, that we get at the beginning of, before all the episodes come, we always get little sneak peeks. And I think that's why a lot of people felt like, oh, it's just going to be the same. It's going to be the same show again, what's the point? I'm not going to watch it. In some ways, I think showing that as a sneak peek was a bit of a mistake because a lot of people made assumptions. But I loved that throwback. And I also love that his keychain is Emma Swan's necklace. If you didn't spot that, go back and watch it because, yeah, he's carrying around his mum's necklace and he doesn't know it. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so Jacinda. Our introduction to Jacinda is awesome. She comes across as this sassy, beautiful, feisty woman. I love that they changed her ethnicity. I love that she is so outspoken. She stands up for herself. And I just, yeah, I love her sass. I think she's going to be a really cool character to get to know, and I'm really excited for her. Obviously, she's Henry's true love. There's a lot of callbacks and throwbacks to different true loves that we've already seen on the show. And so we know that she's going to be a big part of the show, and I'm so excited for that. So, yeah, who would have guessed Cinderella and Henry? Like, nobody could have guessed that. Like, it's totally just a bolt out of the blue. I love it. I love when we see in the Enchanted Forest Henry meeting Cinderella for the first time. It's very similar to a lot of snowings. Snowing is Charming and Snow put together. That's their ship name. But there's a lot of throwbacks to Snowing, like him waking her up. The punch was amazing. You know, there's a lot of like true love Snowing callbacks between them, and I really, really love that. Plus, can we talk about Cinderella's dress? Can you imagine the actress going and being like, I wonder what my fairy tale dress is going to be, and then seeing that? I mean, come on, it's so beautiful. Oh, love it. So, Ronnie, we get to meet Ronnie next. Ronnie is, now I'm a little bit confused, and I think a lot of people are a bit confused about this. Are the characters that we already know in this new book, Curse, are they the characters that we know from the old Curse that are cursed, or are they from the new book? I get confused with that. I don't know if Ronnie is a new version of Regina or if Regina is still in the other Curse book, storybook, place. This is the only problem I have with Once Upon a Time, because there's a lot of confusion, I find. I have memory issues from my chronic illnesses, and so remembering all these different twists and turns and things that have happened, I get so confused. But yeah, Ronnie, she just looks amazing. We've never seen Regina be somebody who isn't in power. She's not the evil one in this. She's the kind bartender, and I think it's really nice to see this different version of her. I think it's really exciting to see that Lana's being given this new, complete new version of Regina to play. Ronnie, just, I love her hair as well. How cute is the little curly bob? I just love that so much. The tradition of Cinder's punching Henry out. I mean, Snow did it to Charming. Emma did it to Hook. It's the true love punch, shall we call it. And I love seeing Cinders do it to Henry because it was just awesome. And stealing his headless horse, aka motorbike. Love it, love it. Adelaide Kane, oh my gosh, when she was announced, my little heart just soared. I've been a fan of Adelaide since Teen Wolf. When she was in Teen Wolf, her character was just brilliant. And I was like, I like her a lot. And I've kind of followed her from place to place ever since. Loved her in Rain, of course. Now seeing her play the ugly sister. What? Adelaide Kane playing the ugly sister? But it for some reason, the character that they've brought up for her is just amazing. I love her. So Adelaide Kane, and her enchanted forest dress is just beautiful. She just looks so stunning. And again, I love the curly bob. It must be in fashion at the moment. I don't follow fashions, as you can probably tell, so I don't know. But yeah, seems to be. The only downside I see with the first scene of Victoria and I can't remember her name in this, so I'm going to call her Drusilla, even though her curse name isn't Drusilla. I apologise. It's completely gone out of my head. It's very Devil Wears Prada, which was a good film, but they've almost completely stolen the first initial entrance. It also reminds me of Supergirl with Kat and Kara. So there's a lot of similarities to other shows. I don't know if it's like a trope that writers do, but it was well done. It was a good entrance for Victoria. It showed that she's somebody who everybody fears, even her own daughter. It shows that she's somebody who has immense power in the town, and I think she is going to be such a good baddie, if that makes sense. I'm looking forward to how Drusilla and her curse version twists. At the moment, she's just the downtrodden girl who's evil because that's the way she's been brought up. That's what she's been shown to be like by her mother. So she's going to do the same. It'll be interesting to see if that changes, if people come into her life that will change her. I hope so. I hope she sticks around because I love her already. I do. I might be a little bit biased, but I think she's amazing. I love her. When Jacinda comes into Ronnie's, we see Henry's reaction, and he is just spellbound by her. I can't blame him. She is beautiful. Those arms, she really brings the gun show to the... I mean, I was thinking, oh, I'm going to miss Jennifer Morrison's arms because her arms were just a thing of beauty. But no, Jacinda's bringing it as well. So his reaction was so cute. And I loved Ronnie giving them a drink. Just like, you two need a little icebreaker. I think you're going to fall in love. Here. That was really cool. Loved it. Loved it. Yes. I really enjoyed the twist on Cinderella and the Prince. Obviously, usually in it, she leaves, in the story of Cinderella, she leaves her shoe and runs away, and he hunts her down, finds her, and they fall in love, yada, yada, yada. In this version, though, I apologise for the snore. That was Mr. Gizmo, who's sleeping beside me. I apologise. I love the twist that in this Cinderella wants him dead because he's the one that's killed her father. That twist is really clever. I really enjoyed that twist. I think it bodes well for the differences that they're going to bring to it in the future. This version of Alice, I just love her. I love her as the street urchin that's like the lookout for Weaver, and I love her in the Enchanted Forest with her dress and her drink me bottle round her waist. I just loved Alice in Wonderland. It's one of my favourite all times. I love the Mad Hatter. I'm slightly obsessed with the Mad Hatter in every kind of way. Johnny Depp, not so much, but everybody else, every other version of the Mad Hatter I'm obsessed with, especially Once Upon a Time, because Sebastian Stan is my favourite actor. I just adore him. I'm getting off track. But when they did the spin-off of Once Upon a Time, which was Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, I think a lot of people were disappointed, and I was disappointed that we couldn't get the Mad Hatter back for that. I think it would have improved it. But I have to say that that version of Alice from the spin-off, I didn't like at all. I didn't find her, I didn't champion her. I just couldn't get into her as a character. I don't know if it was the writing or the actress, I don't know, but something was just off. I wasn't a fan. I think a lot of people felt that way, and that's why it didn't do so well. But this actress, this version of Alice, I think is going to be brilliant. She's got that whimsical kind of street urchin, kind of lost girl way about her. I don't know what it is, but she's really good, and I'm so excited to see where they take her. I'm so excited. I love it. She's really shifty and cool, and yeah, she's just the best. Victoria Belfrey comes across as the perfect wicked stepmother. I think they've got the writing and the characterisation as well as the actress just perfect, and I think getting all those things, all those ducks in a row is very difficult. Like I said with the Alice from the spin-off, it's very difficult to get all those things perfect. Once Upon a Time, generally speaking, do get it perfect. There's very few characters, actors and twists and turns that I don't like. But Victoria Belfrey, I think, is just going to be perfect. I think we're all going to come to love to hate her. Next, we get to see Officer Rogers, aka Killian Jones, aka Captain Hook. My heart skipped a beat the moment that he walked in, and I cannot lie about that. He's in a police uniform, he's got a glove on one hand. The story of what's happened to his hand is something that I cannot wait to discover. He's the only one that cares about people in the whole police station. I kind of get the feeling that like Victoria's in charge, so the police are like, whatever, it doesn't matter what we do anyway, she's in charge, so whatever. But he's championing for good, and I think that's a really nice twist. After seeing evil going to good, he's now just a good person. I hope he doesn't then become evil. That's something that I don't want to see, but I'm excited to see where Officer Rogers goes. And he's just, oh, Colin is so gorgeous, and in a police uniform. Gorgeous. Whew, needed a moment there. I apologise. Seeing Henry and Lucy, and hearing just about how his cursed memories tell him that his wife and child died, is just so tragic and so sad. And seeing her begging him, because her life is so difficult and so sad, and she's begging him, remember me, this isn't true, like, I'm your child. And him not remembering at all, it was just so sad. And it's so called back to Emma and Henry. There were many times that he just literally begged her because he needed more. He needed her to know that he wasn't crazy, that he was telling the truth. And I think this scene just really pulled at my heartstrings, because he's been through that. He's actually been through Emma not believing him, and now he doesn't believe his own child. And I just found that really heart-wrenching. Oh, I love that they're all trapped in Hyperion Heights in different ways. Like Henry, it's his car not working, car being stolen. For Jacinda and Lucy, it's that, you know, first her car breaks down, and then Rogers and, I'm going to call her Drusilla. I really can't remember her name, and I feel really bad for that, because she's like one of my favourite actresses and I love the character, but my brain today, bit of brain fog, I apologise. But they turn up just when they're going to get the train, I assume, or a ferry or something. So they're all still trapped in this world, but it's in the middle of a city. And I remember thinking, how are you going to trap people in a city? I mean, Storybrooke, it made sense because it was a little town, and also the little town was like cloaked. So even if like I drove up to where it should be, I wouldn't see it, and I would just drive, it would just keep going. So I was like, how are they going to trap them in a city? How is this even going to possibly happen? But they've managed it, they've made it happen, and I'm really excited about that. I love it. I just love Officer Rogers. I have to say, him being such a good guy, him, I think he's going to be the one that's going to put the puzzle pieces together, because he started looking through the book, and then he saw something in the book, and I was like, what did he see? But what has he seen? It could be his story, it could be Emma, it could be, he could see a picture of Henry, it could be anything. This is a new book. We don't know what this book has inside of it. So it's not the brown book that Henry had, it's a white book this time. So we don't even know what's in there. So I got really excited about that, of course, but the end of the episode we see what Rogers has seen. But at this point in the episode, you're just like, what did he see though? What is it? And the way he looks up, just like, oh, what's going on? His little cogs are going. So I think he is going to start putting the pieces together. The twist between Cinder's leaving the shoe for Henry, so Henry will stay in the Enchanted Forest, I really enjoyed that. It's like saying, well, Henry's the prince, not the prince from her story, but he is a prince, and he's her prince because she left her shoe. And I really liked that. I thought it was a really sweet little nod to the original story and making it their own, really, and I really liked that. Oh, and then we see Weaver, Detective Weaver. We've seen him earlier in the episode. Obviously we know him as Rumpelstiltskin. Earlier we see him, is he torturing somebody earlier? It's such a quick flash of him. I think he's torturing someone, which I think he's a dodgy detective. And they've paired him with Rogers because he helped Victoria, so she's got him a promotion. My question is this Rumpel? When he was gold, he had all his memories. He knew about the curse. He was the only one who was awake, and he put up with Regina. He knew everything that was going to happen. He was part of the whole thing. Now with this curse, is he still Rumpel? Is he the new book's version of Rumpel? Is he the dark? I mean, I have so many questions, and obviously these questions are going to get answered as it moves on. We've only seen one episode, but there's so many like theories and fan ideas and headcanons coming into my head that I'm just like, oh my gosh, what is happening right now? I think it's kind of evil putting Rogers with Weaver though, because I mean, they were the big enemy. Rumpelstiltskin and Hook, you know, big enemies. And making them work together, I think, is quite clever. It made me scream. I was like, no! Couldn't believe it. So I was a little bit like, oh, what is going on? No! But I think it's going to be really fun and interesting to see where that goes and how that's going to play out. I'm excited to see whether this is our Rumpel or if this is a new guy. But either way, he's evil. And I love a bit of evil. I have to say that Rumpelstiltskin is my least favourite character. I do not like him at all. Maybe that's because I love Hook. Maybe it's because he's abusive to Belle. Maybe, you know, there's so many different reasons for it. But I can't stand him. However, Robert Carlyle in England is like one of our biggest actors. He's an incredible actor. I've loved him since I was a child. He's one of my family's favourite actors. We've all watched everything that he's been in. So I love the actor. I don't like the character. And I'm interested to see how he takes Weaver, how he makes him happen, how things change. And I'm interested to see whether he's still the Dark One, whether he still is our Rumpelstiltskin, or if he's a different new book guy who's just got power for some unknown reason. But then if that's the case, why did they take the power? Why did this new curse that the Dark Fairy give, why did it keep power with Rumpel and take it away from Regina? Do you see what I mean? When you start thinking about it, things start more and more questions. Oh my gosh. The speech at the end by Regina, a lot of big fans of the show that are now not watching, I've seen on Tumblr complaining that Ronnie got the end speech. But I thought it was really poetic. I thought it was beautifully given, and I love that it kind of set each character up. We see Henry buying hyacinths for his wife, his cursed wife who's passed away, but the hyacinths are Cinder's / Jacinda's favourite flower, and so why did he buy those flowers? It's very significant. And then when he gets there, there's not even a cemetery there, and you kind of think, wait, he's obviously had memories of burying his wife and child in that cemetery. He's obviously got memories of going to visit them before. So now he goes again with these flowers, and I think it's like a parking garage or something like that, just parking spaces. And so he's like, where's the cemetery? And I was like, there's never been a cemetery here. And so I think that will start his little cogs working. And I hope that he will believe Lucy earlier than Emma believed Henry, because, yeah, I don't want her to have to poison herself just to get him to believe. And then we see that Rogers did see Emma in the book. Now this blew my mind. This kind of made me think, okay, so Rogers is Hook in the new curse. I think season 2, episode 2 is going to answer a lot of these like puzzles that I have. I easily get confused with when there's lots of characters, and so I did watch this episode online when it aired in America on, I think it airs on a Friday night, so I watched it Saturday morning, and then I watched it again on Netflix today. On Netflix it comes out on a Tuesday in the UK, so I will be, most Wednesdays it will be now, my reaction to Once Upon a Time episodes, but I will do other things as well, obviously. But yeah, he did see Emma in the book. Is it our Hook? Is it the new Hook? Is it Hook at all? He still has his injured hand. We don't know his backstory. We know nothing about him except that he's a good man and the only one that really does any work. We haven't seen him in normal clothes. We don't know what kind of style he has. We don't know what his house is like. We know nothing about Rogers. So there's no real clue apart from his name being like his ship, Jolly Roger. So him seeing the book and Emma in the book and that triggering something in him makes me think that he is our Hook, Killian Jones. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. That might change in next episode. I love at the end of the episode that we see Jacinda and Henry starting to believe, starting to change their thoughts. We see Jacinda throw a coin into the wishing well and making a wish, whereas before we'd seen her and Lucy and she'd said to Lucy that she doesn't believe in signs and she doesn't believe in throwing a coin into a fountain. And then when she does, her flower sprouts in the garden. I just love that. It kind of reminded me of, if you've seen E.T., you know, when he's dying and he's connected to the flower and the flower dies, and then when E.T. comes back to life, the flower blooms. It kind of reminded me of that. I don't know if that was intentional, but it did remind me of that. Overall, the episode was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed all the callbacks to the old curse, the old people, the old characters. I love that. I hope we don't get too much of that. I really hope that they start to make it their own. It starts to become their own characters and they start to bloom. I'm really excited for the twists and turns they've got planned for us. I'm missing Ginnifer Goodwin, who, if anybody follows me on Instagram, knows that she's my style icon. She's why I have my hair like this. She's why I dress the way I dress. She's just my style icon. I love Ginnifer Goodwin. I have for years and years, before she was even in Once Upon a Time and was in movies. I've seen probably all of her films. So I'm missing her so much. But you know what? New beginnings, you know, she's got a family now. She's obviously wanting to spend more time with her family, and I can't blame her for that. She's got her Prince Charming on the show and in real life, Josh, and so I can understand it. I'm going to miss Emma with Hook, of course. I think everybody is. I think everybody is struggling to see how they're going to do Hook. Like, he got his happy ending and he's going to lose his happy ending, and from the spoilers, from the sneak peeks and the photographs we've seen of episode 2 of season 7 confuses me even more, because it looks like they did get the happy ending and they continued after the wedding, but the curse started then. So many questions. Please, if you've seen the episode, if you've got headcanons, if you've got theories, if you've got answers to any of the questions that I have posed, if you've got a new favourite character, what did you think of their episode? What did you think of the characters? What did you think of the dresses and the costumes and the whole thing? I want to talk about it all down below. Leave your comments. I'd love to get to know you all better. I'd love to discuss everything with you. So get commenting. I do reply to everybody who comments, so please comment. Also, I've got some new subscribers recently and I'm so excited about that. I'm getting closer and closer to 100 people, so if you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe. Help me get to 100 so I can pick my own Earl. I'm so excited for that. Yeah, thank you for watching and I will see you on Sunday. Bye.